What does he see? What is that?
Right, and are we agreeing we want to call the podcast?
No, that's all. What? No.
So I'll just say welcome to the podcast. You.
Is that decided?
You're half longer.
Wait, are you
You have to
taller
put that
than
in the
James?
description.
Are you taller than James?
The digital art logo.
Well, if I am, I'm saying I am because James said yes. So
What height
he's the height.
You're 6'2", aren't you?
Yeah,
You're taller than me then.
I'm 6'3". I'm 6'5".
I'm 2. Right.
Are you recording on this?
Yeah. Stop! It's in my ear!
Just checking to see if you.
Yeah,
Have you got feedback in your ear?
I've been over. That's the easiest way to hear the whole time.
I'm just checking to see he's on the ball.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. We're going to be talking about films we've recently watched as a group or individually in this podcast. I'm James Horsley. I focus in sound and editing.
I'm Morgan. I focus in editing.
I'm Pat Monahan. I focus on DOPing and producing.
I'm Theo Levy. I focus on editing and DP.
I'm Guy. I don't focus on anything, but I'm a production designer on a film at the moment. So.
Thank you. Right, first film we'll talk about Sexy Beast. Or Sexy Beast. What did we think of that as a collective? Morgan, I know you weren't with us to watch that film. But what did you?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Had you seen it before though?
You'd seen it before, yeah.
Had you? Oh, you had.
A while ago.
Oh, so it's not too bad that you missed it then recently. It's okay.
I mean, it was a while ago, and
But still,
I
you
had
the
talked about
experience.
wanting to see it with you guys specifically.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh.
Fair enough. I don't know whose genius idea it was to put on, but it was well appreciated at like 11:15 at night.
We were going to watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, I
instead,
was
so-
told you were watching Cannibal Holocaust, and instead you watched Sexy Beast.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
we
no,
watched
no,
Salo
no,
first.
no, come on, guys. What
true.
topic are we on?
We're
let's
on
not get ahead of
Sexy
ourselves,
Beast at the
guys.
moment.
Let's not get ahead of
That's all coming up in the episode.
So Morgan, do you have a review for it?
Sexy Beast.
Yeah, based off of however long ago you saw it.
4.5 maybe stars.
Oh, cool.
What did so you two had rewatched it as well. This was a rewatch. What did you two give it? Did you change your star rating
I
from what
went
it used
down
to be?
half a star since I last.
So what did you take it to? 4.5?
4.
Oh, 4. You?
Mine's been I never really gave films star ratings before since having Letterboxd, but when I went to this one, I thought it was apt or right to put it at 4. I know that this is going to be a bad comparison for some and sacrilege, but rewatching it, I don't know if it was just because of the quality on the stream, but you also said the DVD quality was shit, so it just makes me think like watching it seemed like it was filmed at the same quality that Snatch Guy Ritchie's
Right,
done.
that's a shit quality film.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's because we watched a very bad legal. We watched a legal copy.
It's not as
On
bad as Snatch, but,
DVD.
like, it looks like
No,
it looks a little bit.
no. I've
too
seen HD
mushy.
shots of that, and I've seen that film. That it's a good looking film.
Yeah, Sexy Beast is good.
You.
I should have just.
Because even in high res 1080p, even in 1080p, Snatch still looks like a piece of shit.
Yeah. Snatch is great though. The comedy more than makes up for it.
What about the comedy in this? Do you find it like a funny film? Because it's a bit
Yeah.
ironic. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I do, yeah,
You
it's
think
very
Ben
funny.
Kingsley's character was funny or scary?
Ben Kingsley. No,
Oh,
it was like a
have
perfect
you-
balance.
Yeah,
of funny and scary.
you were
about-
threatened by him,
Yeah.
but he was quite humorous. Like everything he said, you laughed at. It was because of how blunt he was.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Ray Winston story where they basically just said that they thought Gandhi was turning up and Ben Kingsley turned up in character and just started going at it?
Based on his grandmother. On that out.
Really?
Yeah.
That explains a lot, actually.
I said it made me think of my dad.
Hello.
Shout out
I was
Joseph
gonna-
Monahan.
Yeah, I was gonna say his Christian name then, but I didn't.
I thought with that film as well, the editing was very, very good. We said that after,
Yeah,
didn't
like
we,
the high
watching it?
sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was like that sort of super
Yeah.
force appearing.
Very
yeah,
funky.
yeah, like when they're having multiple conversations and it just works perfect.
Yeah.
I brought up the point that I thought like 2000s was a very cheesy era for editing, and that sort of did that fast-paced editing, but at a level that didn't feel cheesy.
We have
And
the Bourne Identity.
Yeah, the Bourne Identity started that. I agree. Yeah.
They even had like an example of they like motion tracked his face in like one point. And what
Did
year
they?
was it? Yeah.
2000.
Yeah,
2000, I'm
It was
pretty sure.
pretty pioneering, pretty ahead of
What
head of
part
its
was that?
time. It was as he was walking through. I can't remember exactly. but I
Oh
just
yeah,
remember
after he
really-
found out something serious, right?
Yeah.
Tracked his face.
When was that? Wait, what scene?
Was it the part after he's? Should we do spoilers? I'm realising
Maybe
now that
try
we-
not to spoil it.
After, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, there was a part before the heist where he was tracking him.
Oh no! Was it
That was
after the
different.
guys came to see him after
the
or it
thing
was
happened.
around that point? Yeah.
And
After
he was
disappeared.
scared because
I
he
don't
was like
remember
he
this.
thought something was gonna happen, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 That was cool.
It's any consolation.
And there was no
Watch the
sound
movie
over as
when
well.
I
It was
was
just the
struggling
like
too.
music.
Yeah.
Good soundtrack.
Check out some more rum reviews, Tom.
Yeah.
Although it's
Whilst
basically
we're
two
here-
tracks. And
It's on the table, mate.
Did you use that with your clapper one? Yeah, I thought I
We're drinking
recognised
Mount
it
Gay.
when I was watching it.
Mount Gay rum.
Because it's like
Morgan or
nicely pasted
top
together.
you are.
Not much more to it than.
Very simple.
That gives you
Another round.
another round. Another round.
Oh, we should talk about that.
Well, that's coming later. Don't you worry. So I watched Cannibal Holocaust 2 days ago
Fair enough.
on my own. Very good. I thought, people said it was really controversial, and I believe from what I didn't do any reading into it beforehand, knew nothing going in, but from what I know, all the animals were real harmed,
Killed.
killed,
Yeah, killed.
which is wrong.
They got to
Which
turn
was sad to
alive.
see. The turtle scene was a lot.
Yeah.
Like that was rough.
Still eating that.
But as a whole, as a story, I thought it was really interesting.
James, I like your spirit, but I have flaws with your review.
I only gave it a 3 though.
As Robin Williams in Dead Poet Society would say, we are poets, we do not use the word very. So the film wasn't very good. It was pioneering.
Is that what you picked me up on? Is that all you did?
Pioneering.
Why would I say
because of the
pioneering?
mockumentary part. Is that why it was pioneering?
Well, no, but like
He got
purely
arrested.
because of like the controversy for it. Because like
I get what
there's
he's
so
on
there's
about.
so much of that shit like now. Like anyone could
He
do
got
like, fucking
arrested.
murder someone, but
Mm.
he was the first one to like actually
He had to
properly release.
He had to
something.
prove that the actress didn't get spiked.
Yeah.
That she sat on a bicycle.
Wait,
seat.
which what for Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah, the
Which
director.
actress?
No, the director
Yeah.
got arrested because people thought he really murdered his crew.
Fuck,
Yeah.
really?
Mm.
What why did crew for the film go missing or?
No, because people just watched the
yeah,
film.
it was so-
Because there's never been a
obvious.
film
There's
like
many
that.
complaints
before.
about
Right, I see. Okay, they thought it was like
Apart
real.
from-
Was it
so
kind of thing?
Apart from Ghost Watch with Michael Parkinson, if any of you, that's an old one.
I've
a cult
been meaning
one.
to watch that recently,
It's
but I haven't
fucking
got around to it.
brilliant. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What, James? What's your
I know the Inside Number 9 was based off that.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
live
yeah,
one.
yeah.
what's
That's-
the extent of your knowledge on the video nasty scene in the 1980s?
I don't know anything about it.
If you're joining us from Minecraft, this is a great new subject for you to learn. The video nasty era of the 80s and 90s. I'm glad Kat brought it into the conversation and no one else.
Cannibal Holocaust, along with many other films from the mid to late 70s and early 80s, kicked off a bit of a restriction on viewing rights.
Ah, really?
Yeah, especially in the UK.
Interesting.
I'm 22 years old.
Yeah, don't you look?
Funny man.
Right.
Well, we haven't really talked about the film much.
I thought the whole second half of the film, with
When they're
the-
watching back.
when they're watching back
Yeah.
the footage, to be honest, like because the first part is very tame, in comparison to what the second half is.
I thought the first part was quite like tense because I thought
No, it's tense, but
the crew were gonna
gruesome and controversial. The second half is that bit that makes you go,
Yeah.
and you go, is that real? Like, which it is, the majority of it. But the first half is just like a build-up of suspense. And I like the two styles. I like how it's home video, sort of like it was just some. It felt very real, like just some kids going on a trip.
Yeah.
I mean, they were mental.
Exactly.
The one thing, I didn't feel bad when it ended. For them.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't think you were
Yeah.
You weren't meant to. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they were trying to do that.
The man is the villain at the end of the film.
Right.
I love what they did with when they showed the home footage at first. They just included that shot of all the characters in a row, like smiling at the camera. I think that was like maybe that was the very beginning. And then they reused the shot, but continued to carry it on.
Yeah, the one with them at the plane.
Yeah, and they carried it
yeah.
on, so you could see that they were actually dickheads to the guide.
Theo's cameras sync up. 3, 2, 1. It's fine, we'll live.
3 different sections. 3 completely.
No,
None of you are editors.
And you're an editor. Don't worry, I did it for my. He did it for that camera. James did it for that camera. I did it for
Oh,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, there were like a few frame difference between.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
Well, we were in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, sorry, where were we?
I was going to say a little anecdote. Do you know Sergio Leone wrote a letter to the director of Cannibal Holocaust saying, "You've created a masterpiece, but I fear too many people will think it's real."
Really?
I
That's
am
really
really trivia.
interesting. Would anyone like some more rum?
Another round.
Yeah,
Another round.
Go on, then. Go
Yeah.
on, then. You're gonna force
So
me.
you're gonna have to take it off me because if I move, I'm going to disrupt. Be careful with that mic by you boys because you.
Oh, don't use it
Pass
all. I
it
don't have a
round.
drink
Yeah,
left.
come
I have the least.
The next film, Salo. Salo.
Huh.
Salo.
Or 120 Days of Sodom.
Sodom.
Yeah.
Again, if you're joining us from Minecraft, you're in for a treat.
This one's a belter.
Yeah, fun film.
Yeah.
Based on a book by Mark Desaad.
You can find the Blu-ray
Didn't know
for
that.
it in the deepest, darkest corner of the network.
Yeah, that's a Minecraft reference.
Yeah. Oh.
What's the
Is
Minecraft
it?
thing? There's like the Antichrist in that game. Like a
Oh, Steve, bad Steve.
Bad Steve.
Whitehead Steve.
no, Herobrine.
yeah, the
Herobrine.
Herobrine. Yeah, so it was like the Herobrine, but 100 of them.
13-year-old Paddy.
Well, well done.
touring that.
I hope you're happy, boys, because all we're gonna have now is people going, "This is this in the comments." Where are you off?
Good.
If you're scared by the Herobrine,
Escape.
do not watch Salo.
Are you coming
Don't-
back?
Don't watch Salo. It's not.
Yeah,
Hold
Salo.
on, you didn't watch it.
I know what it.
Look
Right,
at
I
this,
don't
look
want,
at this.
I don't want to recommend a film where children eat human feces to anyone that plays Minecraft.
You don't know, they weren't under 18.
In the film, they are. In the
Yeah,
story,
film
they
they
are.
Huh?
Yeah.
In the story, they are.
Yeah, but the actors weren't under 18.
Oh, that makes it fine.
In the story, one of the women who's just happy singing gleeful goes on about how she was like picked out at 6 years old.
Yeah. It was so bizarre.
That's a tame word to describe it, James.
I've never.
Bizarre. It's
And
not
oh
bizarre,
my god,
it's
the end.
disgusting.
The end was so like grim to look at. It looked so real. Half of the shit they did.
Depending
The
on...
thing
A
with the
few
eyes,
shots that didn't look real. That I agree with you. Though. No, I didn't
thought
think
that
so.
would
Mate,
kind
the
of-
scalp, the hair.
Yeah, the scalp.
Oh, that made my fucking eyes shriveled up.
See, I feel fairly desensitized about it. So in the case of Cannibal Holocaust, there were a few moments where there's a sort of shiver, but I stayed
Experience
calm
as well.
about it. Watching Salo, it made a little bit of convulsions.
Yeah.
physically
Yeah.
and
I just
whatever.
kept trying to get the taste out of my mouth. Like I
But
didn't
Yeah.
want to associate with that.
That was the-
at
it
the
was
same
disgusting.
time, I don't know. It's all down to your own personal preference, but it's made. I don't know who your favorite dictators are in the history of the world, but it made me do a deep dive into. Well, I'm gonna get the name wrong. I think it's Alberto, but the surname is Mussolini, and no, yeah, because
Who's that guy?
No, well, the
Sounds
whole thing-
interesting.
The whole thing was like metaphor, or not metaphor. It was meant to be symbolic of
Yeah.
his regime. And the
I didn't
people-
see that at all. Like I didn't pick up on that. I know there was like the whole Nazi
the
thing. And,
aristocracy of everything, and
yeah. I mean,
maybe
they're
not,
supposed to be,
maybe
like,
not
in charge.
directly his political office, but the people that were benefiting the most from like his friends and shit. You could just get away with.
Yeah, because it was kind of run like a dictatorship, I guess.
and
'cause
eating shit.
they had to do everything, and
Hey.
it was up to the whim of the the weird characters. They're the only characters we get to know.
Yeah,
The-
you don't
the
get to know.
victims say like
The
5
only
lines.
the only person I can name was Eva, the girl, and was there Frederick? Was there a Frederick?
Maybe. Exactly.
Franco, that's
Franco,
it.
Franco.
I can't remember the army boys. What the army boys were called?
They were called lieutenants.
What's
I think there was
what's
a
the
Philippe
weird,
in the-
lazy-eyed guy.
The guy,
called?
literally, the guy that looked like Dana.
Oh, the
Carvey.
one. Yeah, the one who just
Yeah, there's
looked.
a character in one of the rich men looks exactly like Dana Carvey, and you can't help but imagine him doing George H.W. Bush's impression and bending over to get fucked in the arse by like a 16-year-old man.
As soon as someone mentions eating shit, he just lights up.
Yeah,
he
you
comes
just
out the room.
you just see. Remember at the start when it was like literally the first scene in that dining room, and the soldier just starts fucking that girl, and then he just bends over and the soldier starts fucking him, and you were like, "What am I watching?
It set the
Who's
tone.
I mean,
twisted mind?"
we laughed at it. I'm pretty sure we laughed at it.
We did laugh at it, but like
Then
There were
it
points
kept-
of that
then it
where the
kept
laughing
going.
wasn't.
that was the
thing.
first. That was the first like strange scene.
We'll put it on
Yeah.
after this.
It wasn't completely unsatisfying as well.
Yeah.
Because of the ending, obviously.
The
I don't
ending it
wanna
just
spoil it, but-
ends. Nothing
Such-
really-
Such a disappointment. I wanted the first person shot of someone with a flamethrower coming in. So it's
You
like
wanted-
a
yeah,
virtual
yeah.
experience of them
You
killing
hated
everybody.
them. You hated them all,
Yeah,
and you just well not the kids, but
the victims.
I'm afraid to name drop this particular
Mhm.
person because I fear it might cause not only the video to be taken off YouTube but our lives out of existence. But I had never seen the film or heard of the film before a certain Marcus Rock informed me about it.
of course, yeah.
The enigmatic
No,
Marcus
we-
Rock.
He'd probably be thrilled to see he's on
we're
this.
We're gonna die now. We say
Yeah, I've set the timer.
yeah.
So overall, very strange film.
I think I gave it 3.5 or no.
I
maybe,
think
maybe
I
3.
think 3. I
Yeah,
gave
no,
it.
I think just under Cannibal Holocaust.
What did you?
It's amazing. I think I gave it 3 or maybe 3.5.
It
I think
was-
it was really amazing that it could invoke like such
Yeah.
such a reaction, such a strong reaction.
It more gets those stars because of how fascinating what was made is, not necessarily the story
It's
and
just
what
1975.
It's just you're
keep
like-
in mind that.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
impressive.
impressive. You're
Oh.
just like
Shit, how much time do we have to talk about this film? Because
you've got a little bit. You can go
Okay.
through it.
I remember before we watched it, I was going to tell you something, but I specifically told you to remind me at the end. Of course, certain circumstances.
Yeah, we didn't remember.
We may have
Memory.
partaked in the combustion of certain vegetative matter.
No, that's not going anywhere.
That can go.
It's a Nick Morris quote.
Don't put that in.
Yeah, do you know what happened to the director after that?
Mm.
You wanna-
No?
They-
What
No, it
happened?
wasn't even after that. It was before that was
You
released.
Oh,
said you
it
did
was
not.
I know this.
No,
it
if
was
Morgan
after the
knows,
film
tell
was made,
us.
but,
Yeah,
yeah.
a few weeks
It
before
was
it was released.
I said
obviously
if Morgan
because of
knows,
the
tell
film.
us.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. There was like some kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Do you two want to take the lead on this?
You do, yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
don't know, it's been a while since I've brushed up.
Let's get into.
He was killed
Pasolini.
by. He was
Yeah.
run over a lot,
Kidnapped.
Yep.
and then run over a lot. The guy who confessed to it said he ran him over.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. No one actually saw what happened. Right? So one day he was just walking the streets and stuff, and this is before the film came out.
Oh
And
shit!
then-
So the film came out after this.
Yeah, film came out. He had died before the film was released.
Fuck.
And I think,
Mm.
yeah, well, guy knows all.
I don't know.
Yeah,
just
so
know
he's
that.
walking the streets
My
of
doctor
wherever
man,
he is.
right.
He's living in Italy, and this van pulls up, grabs him, brings him in. This was like some branch of the mafia. Like it was some sort of Italian crime family. Take him in and just beat the ever-loving shit out of him to death because he was gay, as well as the fact that what he fucking made.
Yeah.
All the
So
models
had he
stuff.
made controversial films
And then
before
they
that?
dumped, they didn't even try to hide it. Well,
They ran him over. I'm pretty sure.
well, no, what you found out towards the end because no one actually saw what happened. They saw witnesses saw his body or him being taken, and then his beaten body to a pulp dumped.
That's mad.
Nasty.
But the guy that confessed to it said he ran him over a lot.
There's a couple of really good songs about his death specifically. I
And one
can't
of the
remember the
films
artist.
I've
We
never
can do
seen
Badlands.
Badlands we're doing.
Yeah.
What did we all think of Badlands?
Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah, it's
favorite,
alright.
best, well, not best, poor grammar. Favorite Terrence Malick film.
Only good Terrence Malick
No.
film.
No, Days of Heaven.
Days of
Have you
Heaven's
seen
alright.
Days of Heaven?
It's alright. I've seen most of it.
I prefer that because of the way it looks. But
Badlands.
Badlands has a better story to it.
Tree of Life though.
Days of Heaven was where so Badlands was as much as although as visually incredible as it looked in some moments. Those were the limitations he had with the money he had and the crew he had because it was his first film. Once he had the studio attention and it was that beautiful period toward the late 70s where any auteur director studios would just throw money at before Michael Cimino came in 1980 and dumped the trash fire that was Heaven's Gate. Blockbusters took the way. But Days of Heaven was the first film where he could he had a shitload of money, he could just do whatever he wanted. So it looked just that high.
They shot the entire thing in the golden hour.
Yeah.
So they shot 1 hour a day.
Really?
Can you believe that?
This is his second film we're talking
A
about.
15-year break for the masterpiece that was The Thin Red Line. Starring Adrian Brody, who was cut from the finished film.
I can't tell.
And shaped the whole movie around Jim Caviezel.
I can't tell
The
on
risk
text
actors
side
take.
in this case, but that was a great film.
Badlands.
My bottom off.
Badlands,
Woody
I
Harrelson,
really enjoyed. I thought, fucking solid film. The car driving through the sand like the dirt.
Yeah.
Whew, that's my type of shot. That's what I like
It was
to
like the
take.
wide landscape and
Yeah, the wide landscape, and you got like
Towards
the
end.
one that really stuck out to me was the one of the telephone poles in like slightly just off center, and he was
and they're
driving
driving
up and
right,
down.
yeah,
And you can see the
yeah.
back of the car, and that, whew, and like the shots that we sort of recreated and took inspiration from in
the dance
Rover.
sequence.
The dance sequence, very cool.
That was cool.
It was nice to sort of see.
What?
Thing is, though,
I just didn't realise.
What?
I didn't realise how much. I didn't realise how much.
that was
How much
inspired.
what?
It was inspired.
inspired
You can
by
see it was inspired by that.
What are you using inspired by loosely?
I
Say it, plagiarise, copy. Fucking on my fucking.
the dance scene to me at times though also looked green screen.
Well, it wasn't because.
But it did when you couldn't see anything. I was like, is that
Yeah.
green
It did-
screen or
it
is
just
that? And then you
always
saw
did.
They're
the
the only
dirt.
ones
It
in
was-
the world, James. It's
Yeah.
just them two
It was
against the world.
It was Terry Malick and his bloody great camera skills.
No, it was very good. It was very the light. Whoever did the lighting on that scene, had some talent.
The DP.
Very
Do
clever.
you think it was just a
Well,
car
was
light?
the-
Because
was
that's what
the
it
DP
supposed to be, right?
DP.
The in charge of the gaffer in for that film? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, God,
Some
sure.
films it's not.
Unfortunately, we were hampered.
For those who don't know, Rover of Meadows Advent was a student film that we all worked on in our first year of university.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
get it
yeah,
out,
under
guy,
a
get
rock
it out.
to not know what it
We'll
was.
show some
Bing,
clips
hizzling.
on top.
That's only for those who don't know, because we assume you've all seen it by now.
Yeah,
You should.
It goes nicely in the Minecraft album.
it's on Colorline Productions, so. But
It's on
that's
this
a
channel.
different version from
The
the.
media offline
Oh,
version
you
is,
can
yeah.
choose if you want to watch
It's
the
like a
media
Snyder cut
offline
with a normal
version or
cut.
Pat's version. We need to wrap up on Badlands because we've wasted too much time with it on Rover.
Wasted? How dare you?
Yeah, what do you
Not
think
wasted, no,
Rover's a-
sorry. Alright, come on, boys, you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
What was I saying before?
You're the ones wanting to get this over and done with. Fucking.
No,
enjoying it.
what?
We're in
We're
the
into
swing
it
of
now.
things.
It's a
Okay.
presenter
Yeah.
voice on.
I'm enjoying it.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh, Badlands.
Badlands,
Well,
yeah.
I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 actually.
Very good, very
Damn,
nice.
yeah,
It was very nice. It was sort of like he was never mean. You never saw him as a bad character.
What?
No,
What are you talking about, James?
I liked
He
him.
kills people.
I
To
like,
the
but
woman,
you
to the
liked
woman.
him.
No. That's what I fucking forgot. So the second time I watched the film over the summer, rewatching it made me notice so much more shit. Like, you know, before he, spoiler alert, before he shoots the dad, and they go on the proper run. Like when it's the start of their relationship and stuff. The first time I watched it, I never noticed, but like all the subtle little things to show that, like when he's working his job on the ranch or doing the bin man stuff, or whatever. The little hints that he's like not totally there. Like when he's on the ranch and then there's a cow that's like sick or something and lying like side, so he decides to just stand on the top of it.
Yeah.
And then there's that one scene which it's like a really slow tracking shot of him having a fag in the bed, and the camera's pulling back. Watched that the first time, I just thought it was him like dazed and confused. Richard Linklater.
Do you want to clarify that? Do you want
But
to
the second
clarify
time,
that
I'm not
fag
done.
means cigarette?
Fact,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, no.
Because for the American Minecraft viewer.
Anyways,
Jesus Christ.
rewatching that the second time, if you look at that shot, as the camera pulls back, right next to him on the bed is a fish out of a bowl that's just sort of like suffocating because it's not not in water.
Yeah, you saw
It's
that
sort
when
of like-
we were watching it.
That-
Right? It's
yeah,
just
that's
in the
what I'm talking
corner.
about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
in
about.
Badlands?
Yeah. You
I'd
know,
not
at the
see
start
that.
of it where so she's talking about like often he'd doze off or dream. He wouldn't seem like he was totally there. This, that, the other, blah 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 blah. Before I was in Kerry, and then while she's narrating that, it's him like having a fag in the bed. The camera pulling back to like reveal, so it's medium shot, and it's pulling back to reveal more of a wide. But as it pulls back, you see a fish on the like the corner of the desk, just like flapping and struggling to breathe.
Continuing the theme of animal cruelty.
How much left of this?
What? Are you not enjoying it? I'm enjoying talking about
It's
it.
just my performance. I'm an actor. I've got. It's really. I'm like performing all
Well,
the
Morgan,
time.
you'll be happy to know
Stop performing.
The Lost City of Zed is the next film to talk about. So why would you make us go and see
Wait
this
for
film?
Theo.
Okay.
Has he seen it?
Yeah, before we go
Sadly.
on to that film, let's
Shit.
discuss Morgan's actorial experience. Did you go to the same Laurence Olivier taught school that Jonathan Berenger did?
Who's that?
The next thing was The Lost City of Zed.
Oh. Okay. What do you want to know about it?
Why would we go and see it, or why wouldn't we go and see it?
I
just
rated
get
it
out the
3
notebook.
stars, and I'd recommend Ad Astra, which is his second film, which is a much better film, but that's saying something because it's still not great. The Lost City of Zed is about 3 different films combined into one. It's a period drama. Then he goes to the Amazon rainforest. All that stuff, brilliant. Adventure epic. Then after being shot at by tribesmen, by literal natives, he goes back home to his wife and kid. And then he goes back again. And then
No, before he goes back again, he goes to World War. He goes to World War One.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Does
Does he climb Mount Everest and in
He
between?
takes the fat, long-haired guy back the second time.
Oh, yes.
And then, he takes that guy fucks them over, and but we're so close. But he says it more posh, he's Charlie Heaton, he's awful, man.
Yeah.
Awful, man. Cut that. And then we go back home again to jolly old England, and then he's in World War One. And Robert Pattinson, thank God, survives. He's still got his beard in the trenches of World War One Germany. Don't know how, but he's still got his ridiculously fuck off beard. Doesn't make sense. The other guy that's been in their party, that God knows what his name is, he dies. Shit. This is spoilers, by the way. Yeah. And then we go back again, but this time instead of Robert Pattinson, do you know who we get?
Who?
Bloody Tom Holland with a mustache.
When did this film come out?
17.
Seriously?
It's
it's about 4
average
years
at
ago.
best. It's really a poor effort.
It sounds like more of a character beast in a jungle film.
It's based on real
It's
life.
not a
though.
jungle
It's
film.
based,
Yeah,
it's based
yeah.
on real life.
That's the only thing
Like
I'll give
an
him
English
credit for. Is
explorer
it
or
is
something.
based on
so
real person.
if it's based on real life, the Lost City of Zed doesn't exist. So is
no,
that
Well, without giving away spoilers, if you do your research,
And if
like
you
I
watch
did
the
if you just watch the film,
it does exist?
Right. Spoilers. No one knows what happened to the guy when he went with his son Tom Holland to put on the expedition. In the end,
Yeah.
he never came back.
Okay. Well, just died of exposure in the jungle then.
Well,
Well, I assume they take that to.
maybe.
Because he
Of
sent
course,
the compass.
of course, he'd be the one that's arguing that the Lost City of Zed, which he probably fucking manifested, doesn't exist.
Listen, it's worth it just to watch Charlie Heaton's best impression of
Hunnam.
a Peaky Blinder, because that's
Charlie
what it is.
Hunnam. You
Hunnam,
managed to
same
get
thing.
his surname wrong
Good.
twice in
You-
completely different tones.
You know what, Pat? I'm glad, because he's a terrible actor. Have you seen The Gentleman? It's awful. But yeah, he tries to do a Peaky Blinders in it.
Do you want to talk about maps with gaps?
Oh, fuck, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Have you seen this movie?
No one else. No, it's only a short film. It was about 20 minutes long, but it was about So I think it was released in 2004, and the director was this woman, and I can't remember her name or any of the characters' names for that matter. But it was a documentary, and she had gained like maybe, let's say, 10 hours worth of Super 8 footage from her dad in the 70s. And the film was documented her dad from Ireland, the whole family was from Ireland, going to France. Yeah, France is connected to Spain, another land, right?
Yeah, it's Europe.
Yeah. But no, like England and Ireland are separate.
Oh, yeah.
So in the 70s, this dad, I think, let's just say it was Dublin because that's the capital. But this dad in the 70s, with one of his best mates, just decides to leave his wife and 2 daughters to go on a lad's holiday with his mate. They get to Europe, at the start of Europe in France, as a connected continent, and what can only be described as the free-wheel banger from Only Fools and Horses. They drive from France all the way to Russia, and in Russia they like 2 Irish people with thick Irish accents in the mid-70s driving around in Russia, going from tourist spot to tourist spot on a strict schedule, and the car looked like a piece of shit, but allegedly they did their own work into it. And whilst they're in Russia, it's just them bumping into people, interlaced with Super 8 footage that he filmed at the time, as well as like loads of cool mixed media.
What do you give it? What would you give it out of 5?
I don't know if it's a statement that the film's released from Vimeo, but it doesn't exist on Letterboxd.
What would you have given it?
I'd give it a solid
I wasn't expecting that.
3.5.
What's it called?
Maps with Gaps.
Maps with Gaps, and people can just
Link
watch
in
that
the
for free.
description, boys.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description if you can watch it for free.
Along with
LID.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Guy, is there anything you want to promote that you've made recently or working on soon?
No. My Instagram is here. There we go.
Wrong keys.
Wrong
You
keys.
said it.
It's a nice little
That's it.
Instagram.
Cut.
Is that,
That's
a
not
picture, is, that a,
fine,
pic- is that a
isn't it?
picture? You know your
It
profile
is.
picture? Is that you?
Yeah, it's a picture of Guy.
It's me in the
I can't tell.
in the Saya bathroom mirror.
Is that what it's from? From
Yeah,
bathroom?
I just moved the camera a bit and it did that. That's cool.
You were under. Yeah, he lived underneath. Did you live 2 floors underneath me or
Yeah, 2 I think.
2?
We've
We
given away what university
we-
got to then.
Blink that.
yeah. Will
No
be
names,
about.
but,
We,
There's loads of
we didn't-
cognats across the
'cause we
world.
didn't
There's
really
a
talk.
particular campus
No,
somewhere
not
in
really.
You
America
took the
that they think
first
we're really
picture of
close.
me as a group in uni.
It's like
5 British men in America.
your roommates or flatmates going down the stairs.
Yeah, it was. I
I
asked.
decided to take my camera out on the
I
first
said
night of uni.
you came. You were coming up the stairs, and I went. You're on my course, and you were like, yeah. I was like, will you take a photo of us? What do you want to say, Morgan?
I did have a long time
I can't go
just
on the podcast anyway,
doing
so it
fuck
doesn't
all.
matter.
You might as well say.
No, I don't want to.
What?
It was,
That is
it was about. It was about. Over here.
The next topic. Another round. A film I didn't watch.
Another round, boys.
What was another round? What was it about?
Vibes.
Yeah, it was fire.
Yeah, great film. The characters made all the right decisions in that film.
They definitely did.
Was that film actually about drinking? Or?
Yes, yes, it
That's
really
all it
was.
is.
Yeah.
You kind of hit the nail on the head there.
Was it like
There's not much else to
Was it like the way of just how pointless it was?
No.
It was a
It was about
It was
Mads
scientific.
Mikkelsen. His life sucks. He's boring as fuck.
Thomas Winterberg.
He's one of those dirty dogma 95.
That's the one.
Dirty Dogma 95 directors who have a knack for realism or a lack of or restrained lack of.
It's a realistic story.
Restrained lack of creativity in storytelling. No. You can make as much noise as you want. They're interesting films that he makes, but there's not much visually going on, except for a few sequences. And in the case of Another Round, we all know that was literally the last 5 minutes of it, where he just like.
No. The bit where the fucking gym teacher is finding all the bottles in the storage room
Comedy.
was fucking hilarious.
Comedy, but like shot or like.
Yeah,
No, it's still realistic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying
Mads
it right
Mikkelsen cries at the restaurant.
No, he's talking about like, cinematography and
I'm
stuff.
talking about the way he shoots the films and stuff. It's fairly bland.
Yeah, but
focuses more on
that
the
takes
performance.
it
Yeah,
actually kind of
the
takes skill for
storytelling.
it to be. It focuses on the storytelling
and the performance as well.
because like, I always think like the celebration that's shot
Oh,
terribly. Is in the
great.
quality is terrible, but it looks amazing still. Like, the
Yeah,
entire
That's
time
the thing,
it
the
still looks great.
story's so good that you don't notice the bad
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah, the characters and stuff.
Feston's a masterpiece, by the way.
Yeah, boys, watch that. That's a recommendation for you
Yeah.
to watch
Minecraft.
when you take breaks from Minecraft. Just put on that.
Fun for the whole family.
Theo, what did you think of Another Round?
August French at.
Yeah, he's YouTube
Yeah.
by the way.
As you can tell by my username, I quite like the film. August French. August French.
No one knows what an Argus is.
Yeah, no, but it's a they'll find
Patrick
out.
was originally called.
Go to Lidl.
Sold it for me.
Yeah,
He's not lying either.
yeah, I
Imported
did straight
French
to
lager.
My name's
that.
August Fresh Lager.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah,
you have a
it's,
TikTok called Argus French though?
Yeah, it's the same
Who
name.
has a TikTok?
Yeah. And the
Take
link's
that
right
as
here,
well.
boys.
He stole that
Yeah,
from
yeah.
That's where he got
I
it
have
from.
one video.
Oh, is it the advertisement that got 1,000 views?
Yeah, that's the one.
I think we got like 3,000 when I did.
But yeah, and I agree with what you said. The character was so strong in that
Did
film.
nothing like a
Yeah.
fart in the wind it was.
Anything
Why not?
else to add to another round?
It's a fucking great. It's one of the best films of the year.
Mm.
Really, really depressing, and you can see where it's going based off the decisions that the characters make. But I think it's a case of your own willpower. I know that if I were in that scenario, I'd embrace it full on.
Mads Mikkelsen can
Yeah.
actually act. He just doesn't play psychopaths.
Yeah. Another round.
Great actor.
Over awful.
Yeah, I'll have it over.
He'll have another round.
I think we all gave it 4.5 stars on that.
Yeah.
I think they gave it 4 probably.
Well, you
Really?
would, wouldn't
I thought
you?
that was too low for it.
Wanker.
You just
That's
prefer,
a
you
full.
just prefer the hunt. You don't want to give that 5
Yeah,
stars.
that's
so
right.
you don't want to give it
Yep.
5 stars. So that's
Wait, you
higher.
prefer the Hunt over another round?
Yes.
Really?
Maybe it's just because the subject matter is more serious, but I felt more
But
connected. to
another
that.
round
That-
is
no,
more. Is
that
more
was a-
jokes.
that
It's
was a
great. It's
really
not-
serious subject.
It's because the emotion of injustice is
Yeah, but
really
another
like
round
throughout
is
the
just-
hunt, and you just
another
feel.
round-
No,
Another
I
round
wouldn't-
is just
I-
he's a he gets accused, but he
That's
didn't
the
really do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hunt.
but the entire time you're thinking, oh shit, he's actually going to go down for this. He kind of does, and then the ending. Woo.
Yeah, but like,
no,
no.
the ending is
What
fine.
you said about the hunt being more serious, it isn't more serious than alcoholism. It's just more fucking niche and taboo.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
that's the thing. If it wasn't as taboo,
I think it's yeah.
Because
I don't
that's
know. I don't
typical Von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg. They do a taboo subject and get glory.
That's true.
Another round.
Vinterberg does a taboo set.
He's getting
Yeah,
slow.
right
Yeah,
for-
yeah,
right
maybe
for-
because the
Von Trier
celebration.
shits on the
No,
screen.
yeah. I mean, have you seen the depressing trilogy apart from the Antichrist, which is too much? The other two, or 2.5 if you include Nymphomaniac Volume 2. Watch that after you watch Minecraft, by the way. It's great stuff. No, Thomas Vinterberg. Another round he made for his daughter who died in a car crash.
Yeah.
So it's
Turned
more
it.
so I should give it half a star more.
He changed it because of that.
Yeah,
And
and
on
it
that
was a
note-
better film.
We don't know.
We'll go
It
to
absolutely was.
We don't know what the other
No,
version
if you
was.
read what the other film was going to be like, it was a better film. It was a better film. Read what the other film was going to be like.
And on that note, we'll go to the happiest film of them all. Happiness.
Jesus, you're at the end already.
Happy
We have a very interesting choice of films today. Not
Yeah.
accessible at all.
The
To
films we
Minecraft.
watched most recently.
Yeah, that's true.
Bandit.
must have
Any
watched that one
films you
since then.
mentioned would be suitable for an audience that might also watch Minecraft videos.
You know that.
Badlands, maybe?
Badlands might be the only one. Another round.
includes
with
multiple
No.
homicides.
They
You know
do
that,
make
um,
like a cool like fort and stuff.
Jesus Christ, none of
It's
these.
like
are
kind
good.
of Minecraft.
That is sick, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually really.
Sexy Beast they could watch.
No, not at all.
You know, you'd
What?
watch that
Why
type
not?
of film as
Bad language.
Nah.
And the orgy.
The gore.
The orgy.
Yeah, the orgy.
Oh, it was like the last days of fucking Rome in there. They were spanking, wanking, fucking.
Right. Happiness anyway.
Which is what I was about to say. You know that feeling where you just come across the perfect deposit of diamonds, diamond ores, and there are no creepers or such nearby. That's what this film is like. Go into it blind. Absolutely do no research on what the film's about beforehand. And just watch it. it might seem like it's going in some areas, but it's all happy in the end. Everything pays off, and
I feel like if Pharrell Williams had written Happiness and like because I'm happy before this film was released, it would have been included on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would say that every film production or writing class should show Happiness as one of their films.
Yeah.
I think it is that good. I think the fact that he manages to make a comedy out of a paedophile story is.
Have you watched any of his other films?
I tried watching Wiener Dog. That was quite hard. He said his only film that was like somewhat successful. He said, "Who would have thought a film I made that wasn't about paedophilia would have done quite well?"
What film was that?
I can't remember. But I've done some. I think it might have been Wiener Dog. Danny DeVito's in Wiener Dog.
Is that his more recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to see the sequel to Happiness.
It was something Daughters or Girls or something was the one that came before Happiness, which was successful. I can't remember
the first one. I think Happiness was his second feature. I'll defend Happiness to the end. I think it's pretty fun.
Theo, you've said near enough nothing in comparison to myself, Guy, and Morgan throughout this entire podcast. James is exempt because he's the all-omnipotent sound man. What was your opinion on Happiness?
Yes.
Good review.
I thought it was just about as good as Umbrella.
No. Quote that. What was your opinion on Happiness?
Just about as good as Umbrella.
No. Quotation mark. Yes. Close quotation mark. For a film about as deeply depraved as that. Yes.
Right. Guy, can you briefly talk about ChungKing Express?
Yes.
Fuck is
Okay, I can kind of summarise it.
Really?
What's that?
Wait,
Two
hang on,
more
let Guy talk.
South Korean.
You should watch it. You should watch more. It's a good film. It's basically two romance stories packed together, side by side, and in the middle it just randomly cuts to the other story once it's sort of concluded. It's set in Hong Kong, and I guess the similarities are both the main characters in each sequence are policemen, and they've both been like jilted. It's not a sad film. It's a comedy, and it's it's light-hearted. It's got a nice. It's beautiful to look at. Like very vibrant. It nicely wraps up basically, and there's not much more to say. It's just a nice nugget of a film that you should watch.
And Theo, do you have anything that you want to promote that you've made recently, or you're working on?
Cosmo film.
Cosmo Film. Just follow Cosmo Film. Funky edits, funky videos, funky photos.
Guy, get that man.
All in
Yeah,
one.
guys.
I already
hold
did
that
that.
up.
I literally
Hold
just
that
did
up,
that, but
yeah.
everybody missed.
Do it
Do it
again,
again.
just in case. Just in case.
It's there.
I'm spending his.
Louder, James, louder.
Andrei Rublev.
Oh, fucking hell, no, we're not talking about Andrei.
You know,
Why not?
That's a surprise hit. I know you mentioned the topics of the films before we started the podcast, but fuck up the audio, why don't you feel? But it's short-term memory loss. I forgot about Andrei Rublev being a topic of discussion, but I'm ever so glad it's in its present.
It's an alright film, isn't it?
The first half is so boring. The first half is too boring for me. I'm sorry.
Controversial there?
I liked it at the end. The second half.
No, mate, as Roger Ebert
How
and
long
Gene
was that
Siskel
film?
said, it's the film about the big bell being made
It's
in
like,
medieval
what,
Europe.
3
That's
hours?
true,
Roger
Roger,
Ebert
but
only
only focused on that part, and that was the
just-
last
just-
20 minutes.
That's what he said.
Okay,
It
well,
didn't
there's some
need to be.
clarification that needs to be made. Like
didn't
every
need
other
to
film
be.
that we've talked about, we said the people that have watched it, myself and Guy have seen the film before and properly. Everyone else who's a part of this discussion watched the film and not including myself and Guy's words, chose before halfway through the film to pause it and waited a sum total of 24 days before watching the second half of the film. I counted.
Oh dear, I
So
didn't know it
if
was
you
that
have
bad.
any problems with the first half, they're completely discounted. If you watch the second half of us on the second viewing day and you couldn't remember in the first half,
But do you-
entirely your fault. Nope, I don't care. You watched the water sequence.
There's a water sequence and
do
he
you
killed a
not-
horse.
Do you
Batman.
not think, why
Killed
was
a
I
horse.
not invested in the first half?
Nah, the
I'm
first
with
half
And
was
I love him. You don't. You know how much I love nostalgia after
You love
watching that.
Tarkovsky.
Mirror as well. And what I saw of Solaris was great films. They were all great films. But this just bored me at the start.
Oof. No, it was.
What about the water?
Yeah, the water sequence is pretty wavy.
But that's when we sort of paused it.
That's
And-
the best part of Tarkovsky. There's two things. Cause there's all the existentialism and deep philosophies that he talks about. If you've ever read an interview, or sorry, if you've ever seen an interview or read any sort of transcript he's given, it's just word upon word. It's like us going at a script with a thesaurus. The most fanciful shit you could
Not
imagine.
that we've done that.
But if you wanted to be so obtuse as to just boil him down to the core of his films, water, fire. Best fire sequence as far as I'm concerned.
Mirror.
And this is including...
Sacrifice.
Stalker.
You know, I was
No,
gonna-
not Stalker. The
Sacrifice.
sacrifice.
I was, no.
Every gift
You
requires
know,
a
I
sacrifice.
was actually going to say nostalgia, but James had to reaffirm it for me. Best fire
Mirror
sequence
was the best
by
fire
far- by
sequence
far
by
Mirror.
Tarkovsky.
and best water sequence.
What about the
Mirror. My
sacrifice?
opinion.
The sacrifice has the best
I've
fire
not seen the
sequence.
sacrifice. I didn't get to see that.
I'm talking
Nostalgia has a fire sequence technically.
Yeah, but like
Doodle fire.
nostalgia's different
I mean,
because that's
I suppose.
edited.
Nostalgia,
The way that that's
nostalgia.
edited just elevates it.
Hmm.
Best fire sequence for me, Mirror, and by far the best water sequence for anyone who's seen. Oh, I'm a hipster. I've seen Mirror. That's the only Tarkovsky film I've seen. I can pretend I understand it. If you've watched all of his films, you'll know that Andrei Rublev is by far the exemplary standout for water sequences.
Yeah, it's alright, it's a bit weird.
And now we do go back to Bottle Rocket to briefly talk about that.
Tie it back around.
Right, Bottle Rocket, we've all agreed, was a decent start for Wes Anderson. It was alright. You can
I
see
like how he was trying to bring some order to this.
you can see where the inspiration came for later films.
Yep.
Um,
I don't know what the budget was, but
I
it
don't
seemed
know.
impressive.
I assume $200.
Is that what it felt like?
It must have been more than that because
Yeah.
It must have had quite a bit.
before I
Do you
watched
want
it
to
for the
Google
first time. Yeah, go on, pull that up, James.
$7
$7
million.
million
Okay,
that had a budget of.
That's a bit more than most.
Before I'd watched it for the first time, I'd only ever heard of it from, again, a lot of the films I learned of during my teen years came from the golden era, because fight me on it, there was a golden era of Watch Mojo. And so learning about Bottle Rocket through Watch Mojo, fuck off, that 2013 to 15 period was a sweet spot.
No, it
Um,
wasn't. Oh.
Anywho,
Their lists were awful.
Anywho, before watching the film for the first time, seeing all the publicity with James Cameron, oh wow, it's pretty cool for a feature, a directorial debut. He's got a name of such high caliber. But then watching it for the first time and realizing, it's one of those cases where 75% of the film is just these unknowns, and then like a quarter of it, the character shows up sort of in the background of an ensemble scene.
Yeah. You can see him coming through slowly
Yeah.
in that film. But the step up from that to Rushmore is incredible. Russia was amazing. That might be my
It's got
favourite.
Jason Schwartzman in it.
Again,
Isn't he
yeah.
amazing.
Yes, he is amazing.
Again, it's like Terrence Malick.
Do you not like Jason Schwartzman?
Yeah, he's alright.
Guy, it's like Terrence Malick. Badlands, good film. That Days of Heaven, where he's got that sort of like track.
Yeah, I think he went too far though. Like he went too far away from
Tree of
narratives. And
Tree
there's
of
nothing
Life.
like a
Dinosaurs
But
on a
do you know what I
beach.
mean? Where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
director's choice
The
has
visuals,
been allowed to
yeah,
do
yeah.
whatever the fuck they want.
Dinosaurs
Exactly.
on a beach. Tree of Life.
Tree of Life, yeah. That's the best parts.
And you've tried it 3
That's
months
when
ago.
I got back into the film.
Sean Penn.
But going back to the topic of Bottle Rocket, I touched upon it briefly before, in our prior conversations, but everything to do with the last 25 minutes of the film when they pull off the heist is the only part of the film that like really sort of grabs me or interests me. Obviously, there's the part where the,
I did kinda
where
like
the proclaimers come in.
the
but-
hotel stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of the
Yeah,
hotel
a lot
stuff
of
I felt was dragged out.
Where's Anderson dragging something out, man?
That felt
Yeah, but
the film in all felt
Normally
longer
he
than.
does that, but then he has something really nice to look at.
Yeah, the visual.
The film.
Did you just
It's like the South Park episode.
The film as a whole felt much longer than it should have been.
a good first effort, but let's face it, not something to rave about.
All of his films, apart from
Isle of Dogs because that's the most recent, and Criterion have a thing of waiting, I think, at least a minimum of 5 years. But since Parasite came out, they threw that threw out the window. They've minimum waiting 5 years before adding some to their archives. Every Wes Anderson film apart from Isle of Dogs, the most recent being Darjeeling Limited, the Criterion collection.
Darjeeling
All
Limited
good
is quite
films.
good.
None of those
No,
are bad
good
films.
I
film.
used to rate that as my. I used to rate
I
Bottle
love
Rocket
that.
higher than Darjeeling Limited.
Darjeeling Limited was better than
I
Don't you
Bottle
remember?
Rocket.
I
don't
don't want to
you-
be like one of those like alternative cunts, but Darjeeling Limited is rewatching that here is like easily one of my top.
I really enjoyed that film when we watched it. That was so good.
Trains. Don't you remember Rachel talking about it in class? Were any of you in that? No. Darjeeling Limited.
What did you say about it?
She was raving about it because she was talking about the kid getting killed
Yeah.
in first year.
The emotional
I don't
connection to
remember.
that. I hope you enjoyed our first effort at a podcast episode.
We hope that it will, like Bottle Rocket, maybe not something to
Yeah.
rave about, but
Yeah.
it is.
I
a
hope you
valiant
picked up on all
first
the little
Something tells me it
tensions,
won't make
the
it to it.
tensions between our characters, and that you hope you'll get invested in those and
Sexual
see how they pay
tension.
out eventually.
Sexual tension.
Where could this
Not
go?
just sexual tension, but
Not just. Not
there's other
just, he
elements there
said
too
that.
for different kinds of views.
I'm feeling the sexual tension.
Sexual feeling. That's a song by Barry White.
Oh, my final recommendation. Can I promote one more thing? If you haven't seen the Holding trilogy, get on it. Get on it. Get on it.
Yeah, that's not going in. How are you going to end this, James? It'll take a skilled editor.
Yeah.
None of that.
I'll press this button on here and that.